Here's a pretty crazy story here that I just caught. So Nancy Pelosi, current Speaker of the House, has said something really shocking, all right? She tells reporters that she is comfortable with Bernie Sanders as a potential nominee and doesn't think he would jeopardize the House majority. Quote, I think whoever our nominee is, we will enthusiastically embrace, and we will win the White House, the Senate, and the House. So this is a huge comment coming from Nancy Pelosi because obviously Nancy Pelosi is the establishment. She was sort of the head of those DNC meetings to figure out who they could put together to beat Bernie Sanders. She is a corporate Democrat. Her net worth is somewhere between $20 and $100 million. Doesn't support Medicare for All, made fun of AOC's Green New Deal, called it the Green New Dream mockingly. So she's a corporate Democrat. She is not in any way, shape, or form in favor of Bernie Sanders. Now, the question we have to ask ourselves is, wait, hold on a second. Why is she saying this? Why is she coming out and actually saying, yeah, we'll be fine with whoever the nominee is? The reason why is for two reasons. So, you guys probably know she has a challenger, a primary challenger from the left of her. His name is Shahid Buttar, who is running against her in the race in her San Francisco seat. And so that obviously has a play. And then also, California is a state that is overwhelmingly going in favor of Bernie Sanders. Now, last time I checked, which was a bit ago, so it might be different, but it's if it is, it's still very close to the same. In the aggregate numbers, all of the candidates are under 15 points, which is the statewide delegate viability threshold, except for Bernie Sanders. So, in the aggregate numbers, he's actually the only one above 15 points. So he very well may end up having like 30+%, and then everybody else is just splitting off each other. And I think this will be what happens because his turnout is going to be high. He has new voters that polls don't account for well, and then also his ground game is extremely strong. So I think, and this is according to polls, and I just saw another poll come out, it shows he's dominating. He'll probably get like over 30 points, and then everyone else would be in the 14s and then under that. So I think it has to do with that because, obviously if you're in a state like that, and that's why I remember I did a report about Kamala Harris and how she was like floating the idea of endorsing Joe Biden or whatever, but she was kind of worried because her state of California, of which she's a senator in, which is a statewide race, polls are looking really good for Bernie Sanders. And it's really embarrassing for you to come out and endorse a candidate who your own state doesn't vote for. Like, that's not a good look for you. It's a really terrible look because your own constituency is not backing your move. And so those two reasons combine to this comment coming from Nancy Pelosi. Now, the moral of the story that needs to be taken in is we have to primary everybody. Corporate Democrats, people who are in the middle. So we need to primary Elizabeth Warren, right? Even if the person's not going to win, it will push those candidates leftward. That's what's crucial. So even if they don't win, so Shahid Buttar, even if he doesn't win, and then, the Californian constituency coming out so massively in favor of Bernie Sanders, basically makes it so that Nancy Pelosi is forced, her hand is forced, all right? She's pigeonholed into having to say one thing, which is, we'll be cool with Bernie Sanders despite the media saying no, he's going to be terrible for down-ballot candidates, yada, 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 all of that stuff. So that whole narrative is going on, and she's actually the first, corporate Democrat I've seen to come out and straight out disagree completely with the whole down-ballot propaganda argument. So that's actually pretty surprising and pretty impressive, to be honest with you. So the moral of the story is pressure from the left. Primaries work, all right? They are functional and they're important. We need a primary Elizabeth Warren when she's up, which I think is 24, so patience is a virtue. But it means even if candidates don't win who are lefties, they still push those incumbents leftward, and so that's a crucial piece. So thought I'd report that to you folks.